Hey guys, it's Gus, and I'm gonna do a quick video. Well, say quick, I don't know how quick it will be. I'm gonna do a quick update to my previous build and hopefully give you some insights. There's two big changes I have in this build compared to the previous build. The previous build I did was ranged only, where I was using commanding shot, long striders, and hindering with the commander-in-chief boon. That's a great rotation, but it's not as helpful when you're doing group content, i.e. dungeons, not trials, but dungeons. And in trials, the single target pure range is great, but the hybrid build still does better. So I'm just sticking with this one instead of changing every single time I go into combat. But everybody wants to see stats. This is stats with consumables. And the consumables are watermelon, a wild storm, flask of potency, as well as the cholt food that gives power and hit points. They're like 600 diamonds. They're dirt cheap, and they last a half hour. When you die, they still work. And then I also have the forger's box activated, which is giving crit severity, and thus my crit severity is gonna be a little over. But let me get the 5 procs of the let me get the okay, there we go. Oh no, that's 3. Let me okay. And crit severity, combat advantage is actually at, there we go. I have 2 dummies, and then you know his power's at 89.9. That's exactly where I want it, because once you get it to 90, you don't know if you're over. If you are over, by how much. I really like 89.9 a lot. And then the first big change I said was it being pure range. The second big change are these new companion gears. Okay, do not get a wrapped around these yet. There are a couple of issues with them. For one, I think they're only on console. 2 is they may be bugged and they're gonna change them. I hope not, but if they do, they do. They'll still be 1300 instead of the 1100 that we got from the Zero campaign. And the thing about the 1100 from the Zero campaign is a lot of people can't get those now if they didn't complete that campaign. And then they're much better than the 110 that you get from WEs, FEs, the maps in Avernus or Baby or Master Zero. So these are 290 item level more, which is great because that adds to your base damage as well as your hit points, but does make balancing stats a tad bit harder. If they're not bugged, these are oh yeah, the other point, they're damn expensive or grueling as hell to grind. Now when I say grueling, like non-stop for 1 hour continuous, you'll get enough to maybe do 1 try, and these can take 15 or 20 tries to get one. And if you do get one, it may not be the one you need, and 2, if you do get one, it might be the same one you previously had. Don't ask how much I spent on these. I don't think the majority of players are in the position I am where they can do that, so I don't recommend buying them unless the prices drop, and the prices have gone up on Shattered Diamonds. So those are the 2 big changes. So as you saw with the stats, 80 at combat advantage, crit strike is at 83. Gosh, I would love to know how to get that up. But what some people comment on is I'm using the the metallic dragonborn race. A lot of HRs went to Gith, or I believe the wood elf for the crit. Those are great. They give 5% of combat or crit strike. I went with the metallic dragonborn because they give 3% power, which everybody says is easy to get, but I disagree with that because you're going to sacrifice for something else. and you get 3% crit. Oh, and you get almost 18,000 hit points, and you get a little bit of incoming healing if that matters, but it's still a perk. Those 18,000 hit points are huge, especially with the rework how the hypos work in Tom. Boss is brutal, and then if we're ever using our commanding shot, it actually improves a little bit the stag heart where we heal everybody in the group. Okay, the build. I'm still using the same helm. I could switch to the Garistro horns. I don't like them that much. Well, they're better in, like... Just one sec, I have to sneeze. This has 100% uptime on a boss. Well, if they're by themselves. While Garistro horns, you have to proc them. And the artifact call is usually right at the beginning. Or right after a phase when you don't have any procs up. And so I like to have... don't like to rely on luck that much. The Bone Devil's Ribcage, they proc a lot, especially if you have combat advantage. It's very difficult without combat advantage. So, I'm using the Spike Van Braces. The other gloves give 35 more item level if you have them blessed from the Zero campaign. And those give 4,800 or 5,000 power. But we're capped on power, well, 89.9, but to me that's capped because I don't really want to be at 90. I could be at 89.9 right now, I don't know. But actually I am at 90 because whenever I use the overload from the Lesser Corrupt, that puts me over because those give you power temporarily. What these do is they give you damage resistance, and then when you do get hit, you hit 5% harder for 10 seconds. Love them. The Mirage weapon set. If you don't know, then by now they're amazing. The Bile and boss, I do switch on lightning, or actually when I'm doing any of the randoms, I use lightning as well. Anything help clear those mobs up quicker. Still using the aim shot. It's great. Nothing's close to better. Maybe if you're on a hunter, this. Now what I was able to do with those companion gears, instead of doing combat advantage here, I did enhanced. I'm using the recharge speed. I could go to AP gain. I don't know which is better because AP, if you didn't know, for wardens is really good in trials, and I'll tell you why in a sec when we get to our powers next. Still using the Rusted Iron leggings. When the 1500 boots, oh, I actually have them unlocked. Alright, let's go. Forgot about that. So we're gonna go down to Sharandar. I did not save that for this. What a coincidence. These ones. And those should be at the bottom. My inventory is kind of full. Yay, collection points. Woo! Where are those boots? Okay, here they are. They give 1500 item level, but they increase your combat advantage by 7500. When your stamina is over 75%, but they add to your base points. Hey, outside baby girl. Combat advantage, I'm capped on 207 less, so that would give me 6,793 extra combat advantage points I don't need. So I'm not using those boots. Maybe if they change the companion gears, which I hope they don't, but they might. If they do, then I'll switch it. I may go there, but this 5% damage is so good. And then I'm commonly running Frozen in a lot of the dungeons because of the debuff, but this set, the extra hit, like lightning, all those extra procs, they add up. Music box to give, of course, for the music box set. People were asking if the new demo set is better than the music box. It might be on mobs, probably is on mobs, but who really cares about that? It's all about the single target, and music box is phenomenal on single target. And then I'm still using the 2 ring guiding rings that give almost 3,000 accuracy, but they also give 3% more damage to our ranged powers, which is the one we're using the majority of the time. 80% of our hits are ranged. So I'm using 2 of those. Would I like to have the 2 legendary versions for an extra 40 item level if I got both? Of course I would. But for that 40 item level, I would have to pay 7.5 million. I am not going to pay that. I kind of want to, just to make the build as best as it can be, but I'm not going to. And then also, you notice that I'm using stamina regeneration. I have too much crit or combat advantage, so I think I have combat advantage in this one, yeah, but this one, so 6.6 more stamina regen, and I'm still using the 5%, 5,000 power, and then the whatever, it reduces your cooldowns if you get lucky on a crit strike. I also have the Everfrost Overload enchantments in there for an extra 10 item level, which was great because the accuracy, well, before I was playing around, I was actually overcapped by 7, so when I put those on, it put me under by like 3. But I can use the 10 item level now and not hurt the build. This 10 item level will help you. I doubt it. Maybe it gives 10. I don't even know. 60 hit points, maybe. I don't know. So that's it for gears. Powers. Okay, I mentioned this before. So the only daily I used was disruptive, but I have changed my ways. Slasher's Mark is phenomenal. So in trials, when I go into Tom or Zerial, I'll do Gushing Wound, and then I'll switch to ranged. I'll pop the I'll use my envenomed or whatever artifact I'm using. Do a disruptive, do a couple ranged, and the horn, and then during it will get me up to 100%, and then I'll use Slasher's Mark for a 2100 magnitude hit. And I can get, just in a normal time without trying to do a ton of these and still doing as many of these as possible, I'll get like 4 of these in there. It will pull aggro. I'm telling you, in Tom, this move gets you killed often because you're using this daily to give all your powers, 15% from the music box, as well as from more than disruptive, where you increase your range powers by 10 seconds. And then when you use this during the same artifact call, as well as your television, it just it can kill you. It can still aggro from the best of them. The only at-will you'll use is aim shot, but I sometimes will get a careful attack in there. Like at the beginning of Tom, we don't attack right away because we want the tank to get aggro, so I'll cast that. Because it will put a damage over time without giving you any threat until you start attacking. And then the same for Zerial. I got SSD and maybe the tank doesn't, so I'll get in there before them, so I'll use that. In the time you can cast that, you could cast another aim shot. So aim shot. For powers, it's the same: hindering strike, constricting arrow, and long striders. But if you're doing a boss or something, you'll lose a little bit of DPS, but this makes the group do so much better. I recommend it. The 2 class features, the same: Seekers and Aspect of the Falcon. And then bottom 3, top 2. Those are the ones I use. If I'm going... So, right now I'm set for single target. If I'm going into group damage, I just go just like this. Bam. I just swap long striders for plant growth. It's phenomenal. And then the boons, if I'm over on crit severity without the forger's box, I'll take some crit severity off and I'll put it in that one hit point spot, and then if I can do it, I'll put any extras I have in awareness. For the guild boons, I'm actually using crit severity, believe it or not. We don't have, because I don't need it anywhere else. And it's actually, I'm able to use it without going over. So if you can, you want as much stuff as you can have as high as possible without proccing it. So the more of these that are higher means the more damage you'll get before your procs start happening. Power, even though the rating's less, I'm already capped at that, so I don't need to increase that. So believe it or not, for this build, it's crit severity. Go figure, right? And then you can go hit points or defense. The defense I'm using right now, I'm at 36%. Believe it or not, this is good enough for every single bit of content in the game. It's actually more than enough. Probably because of the hit points. And then, but there's nothing wrong with switching to defense if you want. If they're perfectly identical, let's just say they were completely 100% identical, you'd want to go with hit points because of our stag heart, where the more hit points we have, the more it heals the group. Utility, I'm still doing the horse. We don't have revive sickness, but it's fine, no big deal. I'm gonna do a video on this because this boon right here, I think, can change the entire game, and we don't know it, or nobody's talking about it yet. So maybe tonight. And then companions, cooldown war, and when we go AOE, I go just like that. So the three things I change when I go to AOE is I go Zuna, I switch long striders to plant growth, and then I go tunnel vision to vortex, which, if you didn't know, vortex is amazing. As a matter of fact, best in slot for Vault of Stars might be 5 people running vortex. It's that good. It slaughters everything. Okay, so we were on boons, and then companions. The 3 I have are the crit severity, combat advantage, crit strike. If I had accuracy, it wouldn't make any difference because I would still have to adjust all the stats to be where they're at right now. So I was happy with either combat advantage or accuracy. Indomitables and everything. I'm running cute senses for the combat advantage. Some people say, well, your CA is only at 80% or 80.5, whatever. Well, I could, I guess, take off Batiri and then swap it out for either the Eldarin or the Wild Hunt Rider. Where are you? Wait, is the Wild Hunt Rider? Oh yeah, he's got that symbol for his. This guy. I could put the Wild Hunt Rider on. I don't like it, believe it or not. A lot of people do. Yes, it can get your stats to 90, but the keyword is it can. I mean, I've used 9 encounters and it not pop. Well, the artifact phase is completely over by then. So I could go with the constant 7.5% combat advantage. Constant every time, or possibly get it higher and get the other one. I don't want to switch that around. So these haven't changed. Black Dragon, Face Spider in your defensive slot for crit, combat advantage, Staldorf. The Batiri, yes, I can switch this when I'm running the mobs, but I'll forget to change it, and it really doesn't matter. We're already steamrolling everything right now. But yes, if you're running mobs, anything's better than Batiri because it's completely useless there. So I could go anything that gives basically combat. I could go either the Netherese, because that would give me some damage. I could go Netherese, or I could go us, not me. We as HRs. We could also go Wild Hunt, or believe it or not, this would probably Siege Master. But the thing is, when we're doing mobs, we don't do very many at wills. We're killing almost everything with our encounters, so that's really not going to be too useful. If anybody can answer the $1 million question and you're on PS, and you can like give me data that proves that Siege Master is better on single target than one of these, and I verify it, I will hook you up. I got you. I will be very pleasantly surprised, because that 11% on at wills looks so sexy. But the problem is you're losing, I don't know, 3, 4, 5% when you take something else off that affects everything to get an 11%, but it's not 11% gains because you're losing the 4 or 5% from these. So I don't, or 3, whatever the percent is. So it looks sexy. I just don't know. Love it if somebody could figure out. And then I think that was it for companions. And then mounts, vortex for AOE, tunnel vision, and I have the accuracy. What? Which one gives accuracy? I don't even remember what mount gives the accuracy. There's a whole bunch, but the accuracy helped me get to that stat right there where it's almost capped. And then, oh, so this is another deal with these companion gears. Instead of using the 5% or the 5% crit severity, I don't need it now. Well, we don't need it with this build. So I'm using the recharge speed. Whoop, whoop. And then, which that is even sexier if we're using the 3. If somebody else is using the 3 times journals, I'll go 3 times Dragonheart artifacts. And which give 10% recharge, so recharge is good. And then so encounter, recharge, movement. Now this could be improved. This is outgoing healing. Stamina would probably be better, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure if this outgoing healing affects the potion heals. I would like to find out soon. And then rough astral. Now these are all these 2 are really fake item level, but that's okay because it doesn't hurt the stats at all. It just gives more base power with these new companion gears. And then for most of them, I'm using dominance and skills in just about everything. I have 1 brutality. As a matter of fact, what was skill again? Let me take off. Yes. Oh wait, no, I needed that power. That's right. So I'm losing crit and combat advantage. I think I won't go over, and then I could take off a. Yeah, I'll go over on combat advantage. Damn, I hate doing that. And then I could take off an Azure. Well, I could take off an Azure and put on a Radiant, and then I would only. Yeah, I will have to look at that. And then 2 Assassin's Covenants, 2 Warlords, and a Gladiators. Okay, that's it for now. If you have any questions, comment below. Stay classy, never see you soon.